like a battery. I'm staying charged on my feet. I'm like a factory. Dropping lines like in a...
How you doing, guys? Welcome to ZukaTube. In today's episode, we'll be reviewing a movie called Werewolves Within. And this is based off a video game, actually, a PSVR game or whatever, right? This movie was released June 16th, 2021. I'm going to give you a little play-by-play here that they have listed. It's a snowstorm traps town residents together inside the local inn, where newly arrived Forest Ranger Finn and postal worker Cecily must try to keep the peace and uncover the truth behind a mysterious creature that has begun terrorizing the community. And this is kind of a like a Clue or a whodunit kind of story. I'm going to play the trailer. I'm going to give you like my general review, a couple pros and cons. We'll go into some spoilers, and that'll wrap up the video. But let me know what you think of this, if you've seen it. I have a couple major things to kind of dive into that I either really liked or really didn't like, but let's get right into this trailer. Little small town action in Beaverfield.
What? People do that?
You know, fun fact.
That's the AT&T girl. Remember her?
The most effective means of traversing the ice.
Wow. Yeah, you're gonna fit right in at Beaverfield.
And this guy, he was,
Everything here is a little...
the one dude off Tomorrow War. You can see all the neighbors are like extreme
The weather,
stereotypes and stuff.
everything.
Ooh, some booby traps.
Oh.
Ranger, you look like you just
Oh.
hit a corpse.
Well, the roads are
Yeah.
effed, and something's wrong with the generator.
Which generator?
All of them.
Can't get on the internet.
Also, there's a dead body under your porch.
What do you mean the generator's down? You can't get on the internet? You don't got a signal out there as far as satellite?
Probably a wolf.
What are you, like a
Your
wolf
phone?
detective now, Marcus?
Who knows? Who? When?
Not just any wolf, a werewolf.
I think we can all agree that it's unsafe outside, and there's safety in numbers. Out of curiosity, who is packing?
Small town,
Having a good
everybody's
old-fashioned
packing.
sleepover.
With guns, though.
With guns, yes.
Everything about this predator is unorthodox. It's not human. It's not canine. It's one of them.
One of what? A what?
A lycanthrope.
Werewolf.
A damn werewolf.
Gotten in here.
Look, there's a painting of a werewolf on the wall. That must mean it's a werewolf town. But,
Who says it got out?
it's very interesting.
Maybe I'm a werewolf.
Maybe I'm a werewolf.
Maybe you're a werewolf. You're a werewolf. You're a werewolf. You're a werewolf. Maybe we're all werewolves.
Are we really in a Mexican standoff right now?
Baby, don't say Mexican. Just stand up.
Don't say Mexican. Just stand off.
You know, we're probably
Oh,
just
my
gonna
goodness.
head out.
This is
Just pull it.
We got it on our own. It's just... Hey, you go ahead.
Oh, here's a creepy guy, right?
Me.
This is the guy they think is like a murderer right off the jump, you know?
Please
Type
don't
of
bother the
situation.
lock.
Me either. I
Oh
couldn't
my
do that
goodness! I
myself.
could have
Wow.
gotten it.
All right, so that movie, horror comedy. Basically, this guy Finn Wheeler, Sam Richardson, his character, basically, he gets to town. He's the new ranger, and there's a lot of stuff going on in the town. They right away jump into this whole thing. You hear people talking about there's a pipeline. Some people want it, some people don't. It's tons of like excuses for them to throw a bunch of political stuff in your face. All of the characters in the neighborhood are extreme polar opposites of each other, and obviously have strong either political opinions or random cultural opinions in general. And that is the main drive of the characters, is that's how they're kind of thrown at you a lot, is in those kind of extreme stereotypes. And I believe it's part in a way to basically reflect on the fact that this is based off a video game, and that there could be extreme versions of people, or people that are alike or not alike or totally different, but they've tried to make it basically really diverse, I guess, in a sense, where they make it seem like you're playing online and like you could be people from all over the world and they're drastically different kind of deal. But now it's adapted into a movie. But obviously a small town like this, it just looks a little forced, right? So let me play a clip of the games to give you an idea of what it's like.
Eliminating the most suspicious individuals.
Suspicious individual. I didn't even know this was based off the game.
Werewolves Within is communicate to players the sense of being around a table or being around a campfire together. So, we invited friends from all around the world who worked on the game to lie to each other.
You have no solid evidence against me.
You gotta prove that you're not the werewolf.
Wait, me? No, I'm
Yeah, it's very
definitely
much like
gossip.
a discussion-based version of
I mean,
Among
that's
Us.
exactly what a werewolf would say.
But now it's been turned
It was me the whole time.
into a movie. And they tried to get that whole like diverse amount of banter from drastically different people, except for the fact that usually in small towns like this, that are this small of a town, especially a woodsy town, these kind of extremes to this degree are usually few and far between. Like this is ridiculous. Like, and obviously this isn't the case anywhere really. They do that. They over exaggerate a lot in this movie. But basically, once they find out that something's going on and knocks out all the electricity and blah, 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 and that it could be a monster and that somebody died, they all lock themselves in the inn, right, in the hotel. And it's basically from there on, it's a Clue kind of story. You know, a couple things happen. People are suspicious. Some people get attacked. Some people, just get away or you think they're the killer or whatever, and they go back and forth through that the whole time. The one thing I can say is that obviously Finn and Cecily, the two main characters, are very enjoyable together. Right off the bat, he is a very passive, nerdy guy, very sad boy, and she is very upbeat, bubbly, kind of cute and innocent, you know what I mean? And, she's like into him right away and kind of wants to show him around and all that. And like right away, I feel like she's like super sus, you know what I mean? To like, she's overly likable of somebody she didn't meet, but all the people that are there that she's like known for a while, like you could tell she's like very bitter about them. And like maybe that's like the overexcitement of somebody new in town type deal, so but they do have a good dynamic together this whole time, right? And obviously she's into him and he's too much of a fucking idiot to notice that like she's a straight up babe, right? That's how this typical stuff goes. But in this whole story, one thing that I can say, pros, there's a couple good jokes here and there. The small town joke references, especially where they're all pulling out their guns and stuff like that, deep out in the woods, that small of a town is, yeah, of course. There's people running into, out in the woods like that. You run into wild hogs, you run into bears, you run into all these predators. Like, you got to be ready for that kind of thing. You totally understand, especially with the trapping and stuff like that. But, as far as everything else goes, especially like the cultural stuff, political correctness and all that, man, that is exhausting. It is so exhausting. And they play stereotypes and they play the drastic aspect of those stereotypes in each person's life at points so much and drill it down your throat so much that you actually lose sight of a lot of this film. You really get confused on what's going on. You may have missed something with a character just because of the fact that like something happened when they tried to throw a joke at you. It's like basically they're just throwing spaghetti at the wall, and they're just trying to see what's going to stick. And it's like some stuff does, but a lot doesn't. And a lot really draws you out of this movie. It really kind of defeats the purpose of that good Clue, / like kind of whodunit story that gets kind of thrown to the wayside because they are so focused on that. And one thing that's also agitating is they go out of their way to put other aspects of the neighborhood and things that are going on. People want to move out of the neighborhood. People want to support this pipeline that's getting built. People don't, but like nobody's necessarily protesting or doing something or not doing anything and all this stuff. But at the same time, all of that is garbage, and you can kind of feel like you don't feel attached to it, because at the same time, you're sitting there trying to watch them figure out who killed everybody or who's killing people or whatever. So there's that. That's the one thing I got to say. And before I give out the spoilers to this whole thing, I'm just going to give you a number rating, and I'm going to say it's a 4 out of 10. I mean, I did not enjoy this movie. It was just so annoying. And now passing through it a little bit, skimming through it the second time, making a couple notes, there wasn't really anything worthwhile to really kind of drill home for you guys, except for those cons of this movie. Because if you're looking for the movie for what it's supposed to be, which is a kind of murder mystery comedy, you're not getting it in that effect that you want. You're not getting the joy of that out of the movie. So with that being said, let's do a little spoilers. Spoilers. Spoiled. Boop. Okay, so, all right. At the end, you obviously find out that it's somebody everybody was really close to, or one of the main characters. It was Cecily, the post worker. Yes, she was the werewolf. Yes, it was like a typical, like, she gives this, like, whatever rant about the, toxic people in this town and blah, 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 blah. And I need to eat, the whole typical whatever. It's really cheesy. There's a lot of cheesy, like, especially with Finn's character as well, with him being like, I'm sorry, I'm so nice, and nice, and I'm a sad boy, that whole deal, right? Whatever, man. But she does a little classic, it's almost like a classic, werewolf transformation. Check this out.
In a dog-eat-dog world.
I skipped all the talk shit
be
because,
nice.
Man, her little spiel was annoying.
Or you could be me.
Heavens.
Oh, heavens.
Cecily?
Oh, she mad. Look at her. Ground. Thunk.
Emerson!
And there's the spooky wookie guy in the trailer that everybody thought was like a murderer right off the jump. Like, they grew up with the guy, right? The whole time he lived there, was he killing anybody else? No? I don't know. Typical, right? And she's new to the town, right? Cecily. But how does that make sense? Why is she there at all then? And why does that need to be like a focus of her being fairly new to the town potentially as well? Like, especially with there's like the werewolf stuff that's on the wall in the place and everything. It seems like person would have lived there for ages. So I don't know. That was a little weird, but that's whatever. It's like a passable moment in the thing. It's just really the rest of it, the constant, like, at one point when he first meets her, he's like, oh, you're the new, what is it, postman? And she's like, oh, gender's a construct, like all that. And you're just like, get out of here, dude. Like, it's a lot of that stuff the whole time. Every character, when they're all thrown in the mix, are very polarizing together. A lot of tension and a lot of arguments and a lot of banter, but it's not giving you that comedy aspect. It's just a little more annoying, I would say, than anything. And then you do get a couple good little... I feel like when they dive into certain characters on and off by themselves in a flash, they give you something kind of funny, like a cool quip, like here and there that'll get you by. But man, when you get a couple minutes of them going at it, talking back and forth with each other, all in the same room together, it's very annoying. And it's really easy that when action actually starts happening and people start dying, to forget how somebody died, or if they died, or where they went, or what's going on with that character, because of the fact that they're just throwing this much stuff in your face. So yeah, I don't recommend this movie. It's really hard to watch, and it's not a very funny movie. A couple parts here and there make you chuckle. Other than that, it's not very enjoyable. It's a little bit of a sporadic mess as far as being able to keep your attention to the actual storyline. But yeah, 4 out of 10, man. With that being said, Werewolves Within. Don't see it. ZukaTube out.
Feel like they tracking me. Yo, let me get on one. Nah, go get your tracks up. Homie, can I steal some? Homie, you can't stack up. My brother, can you shout me? You're barking up the wrong tree. My dog, why do you doubt me? Cause you can't do shit without me.
Real like the radio and never play it, but that's cool. The enemy's supposed to hate it.